Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to my panel. I hope you are in the pink of health. I would like to say thank you for being my panel. First of all, my name is Muhammad Arif Afiq bin Ibrahim. My matrix number is B0918102234. I am from Faculty of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering Technology. For today, I want to present about my PSM project. The title is Effect of Oncoming Vehicle Size on Overtaking Judgments from Motorcyclist Perspective. Okay, first, let's go to the chapter 1, Introduction. Okay, basically, chapter 1 is about introduction for the project. A recent phenomenon in the world is the development of technology as a system for maintaining overall road safety. Vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to a person, vehicle to a road connectivity is built into this system in order to help to reduce the number of traffic accidents. To keep traffic accident from occurring, technologies that assist in keeping a vehicle in its lane or controlling the vehicle speed, such as collision mitigation brake system, lane keeping assist system, and adaptive cruise control system are being used on the market. Although development of accident prevention system for motorbike with high traffic accidents and fatality rates is dormant, the initiative to research and the feasibility of accident prevention system for motorbikes in location with high traffic accident and fatality rates has been commenced. Few studies have been done to quantify the extent to which rider previous actions contributed to the severity of the incident. Many sources of road deterioration exist, including rainy weather, oil spills on the road, car accident, and damage from normal use and vehicle wear and tear. In 2017, 3,597 people were killed and 803 people were injured due to pothole-related accident. Okay, next, let's go to the problem statement. Collision with other vehicle constitute the greatest hazard to the rider, and emergency braking is the most frequently employed evasive maneuver. However, many riders are not sufficiently quick to act because of impairment in perception, cognition, and control that result from failure in this system. Avoidance from front collision and accident is one of the problems that motorcycle riders are facing now. Based on statistical data and research, many riders cannot make a good decision and cannot deal with it while facing dangerous situations on the road that end up with a fatal accident. Vehicle traffic increase resulting in damage to roadways and adequate road upkeep. Okay, next let's go to the objective. The aim and the main objective of the research are to develop a set of motorcycle crash avoidance test procedure and establishing the relevant objective response criteria to measure crash avoidance capacity. Okay, next, to simulate an accident scenario for the evaluation of motorcycle accident avoidance capabilities using an obstacle detection sensor application from Android device. For the scope of this research are as follow. Start with the benchmarking test of motorcycle accident avoidance. Benchmarking test undergoes analysis using sensor lab application in Android device. And last, to interpret the result from sensor lab application. Okay, next we move to chapter 2, literature review. The purpose of writing this literature review is to get full knowledge and understanding about the topic, whether it is a methodological or theoretical approach. In order to get the full understanding about this project, research and studies have been done through internet, journals, and articles. Okay, first we go to the motorcycle road accident analysis. The highest death rate per 100,000 population in the Asian countries has been documented for road accident in Malaysia. Until March 2017, Malaysia had registered around 105,000 automobiles. WHO predicted that Malaysia mortality rate trend could rise year on year, and Malaysia has been among the world highest death rates due to road accident. They observe that motorcycles are often the most potentially accident vehicle. Figure of the graph show the 4 years between January 2012 and December 2015 that has been recorded for the monthly number of accident cases. As we can see, accident cases increased from 2012, and in 2015 record the highest total cases of road traffic accident. Okay, next we go to the motorcycle accident avoidance. Okay, based on this research, the rider controls the motorcycle through steering and body inputs. An experimental study is performed to understand how rider controls the motorcycle during braking in straight line. An analysis correlation is carried out to determine the relationship between the rider's steering torque for motorcycle control and lateral disturbance. Both figures show the correlation versus deceleration for front braking and correlation versus deceleration for rear braking. The result indicate that for front and rear braking in a bend, the steering control is totally different. The angle of roll and the roll rate of front braking in corners is negatively correlated, while the rolling angle is positive and the rate of rolling for rear braking is negatively correlated. Okay, next we go to the previous study. The purpose of the current study was to determine whether overtaking judgments are influenced by the size of an oncoming vehicle and to investigate whether a driver actively conduct the overtaking maneuver or passively judge whether it is safe to overtake. Based on the figure on the test of the experiment 2, main effect of the oncoming vehicle on the percentage of accepted gaps. Participant accepted a larger percentage of gap in front of small motorcycle and small trucks than either large motorcycles or large trucks. The difference between small motorcycle and small trucks and between large motorcycle and large truck were not significant. Next, let's go to the chapter 3. Introduction. The methodology will present the methods employed in conducting this investigation. The method used for selection is based on the hypothesis that has proven itself dependable in the past. Testing process should be carried on by planning the testing procedure first. The correct flow of research and methodology employed in this study is detailed in this chapter. Furthermore, the suitable research methodologies are founded on the examination of the aim to direct the research. Okay, now let's go to the flowchart. First, we start with choosing the title for the PSM project. After that, we do the literature review based on the previous study and journal. And after the literature review, we do the conceptual design and run the test. After run the test, we get the analysis and result. After we get the result, we do the data analysis. And with the data analysis information, we do the report writing. Okay, next we go to the model selection. Okay, in this test, I used Kawasaki Z250 Special Edition 2016. The specification and details as shown in the table. First, displacement 249cc, the engine type twin 4-stroke, the front tire 110/17-17, for rear tire 140/70-17, front and brake diameter single disc and 290 mm, rear brake and diameter single disc 220 mm, overall height 1110 mm, overall length 2085 mm, and overall width 714 mm. Okay, for the measuring instrument selection, a measuring instrument is a device that is used to determine the size of a physical quantity. Measuring instrument that used for the testing process is sensor lab application that available from the Google Play Store. Okay, next, I will explain how we do the emergency braking test. Generally, we have three types of tests. First, emergency braking test. Second is the acceleration test. And third is constant speed test. Okay, for the emergency braking test, a rider of a motorcycle riding through 30 meter of distance and found an obstacle in front of the road. The rider must brake until the motorcycle stops. Data taken from the sensor lab application and the time taken for the motorcycle to stop in distance of 20 meters have been recorded and make comparison between the 3 times of motorcycle emergency braking test. Okay, as the figure show, the motorcycle start at the point with 20 km per hour and it's traveled until the starting point. While reaching the starting point, the motorcycle start to brake until the finishing point. Okay, now let's go to the acceleration test. The rider must accelerate the motorcycle from starting point to the finishing point. The distance between starting point and finishing point is 20 meters. Data taken from the sensor lab application and the time need to be recorded when rider start to accelerate from starting point until rider reach at finishing point. Okay, as the figure show, the motorcycle is at the starting point and it start to accelerate to the finishing point for the 20 meter. Okay, next we go to constant speed test. The rider must ride with a constant speed that is 20 km per hour from the starting point to the finishing point. The distance between starting point to the finishing point is 20 meters. Data taken from the sensor lab application and the time need to be recorded when riders start to run the constant speed test from starting point until rider reach at finishing point. Okay, as the figure show, the motorcycle start with the constant speed 20 km per hour right to the starting point. And at the starting point, the data and time start to record until the motorcycle finish at the finishing point. Okay, next we go to the preliminary result. After 3 types of tests has been conducted, data from the sensor lab application were analyzed. From the data that have been collected, 3 graphs for acceleration and 3 graphs for gyroscope have been produced based of the trial for each type of test. Okay, this is the comparison graph of emergency test result. And this is comparison graph of acceleration test result. And this is comparison graph of constant speed test result. Okay, basically those comparison graph for each test are the raw data that I get from the test. All of the data need to be processed with more detail about the accelerometer and gyroscope. Other the data from the sensor lab application can be used or not. Okay, this is the references from the chapter for the chapter 2 literature review. I think that's all from me. Thank you for watching.